Hello and welcome to my brand new channel, Thoughts on Film. My name is Eric. For today's episode, I am joined by my friend Ross, who is very knowledgeable about film. He has a lot of great insights, and I'm excited for you all to hear his thoughts as well as my own. As it is a new channel, I would really appreciate any likes you could leave for the video as well as subscribing to the channel. That really helps us grow a community where we can discuss film and why it means so much to us. So I really hope you enjoy this video, and let's get on to the show. Here is our top 10 movie scores. My name's Eric. This is my friend Ross.
How's it going?
And really excited to get into it. We kept each of our lists a secret so that our reactions are genuine. And yeah, for me, a movie score needs to help tell the story in a meaningful way, contribute to what the filmmakers are trying to say, and also just be good music that I listen to outside of just watching the movie. So that's, for me, what makes a score good. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, Ross.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think a movie score is there to either help hold the hand of the viewer or to just completely let them go and have them decide what's going on in the scene for themselves. It can either be really helpful to help set the tone, or it can be create dissonance. So it's like happy music playing, for example, when there's something crazy going on screen. It helps sets the mood of what the director wants to get across.
Totally. No, that's a good point. I never thought of dissonance in that way, but you're right. Sometimes there is kind of that, conflicting part of a score that can make it even more memorable.
For sure.
But yeah, so let's just get into it. Ross, you go ahead with your number 10.
Okay, I get to start. All right,
Yeah.
my number 10 is Halloween, music composed by John Carpenter.
Perfect.
And man, this score is crazy. I listening to it on its own and then watching it with the movie. It's honestly just the same three songs over and over, but it's so effective at setting the mood and setting the dread. There's just one scene that always sticks out to me. It's when Lori and her friends are walking home from school. It's probably about 20 minutes into the movie, and it's just the creepiest music on earth is playing. And just from that point on, I was scared the entire movie. Michael Myers didn't have to be on the screen. Just knowing what was coming or having that score in the background definitely just solidified it as one of the scariest movies ever to me.
Wow. Yeah. Is that where he's standing behind the hedge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's yeah. At that moment, I was just I love this movie. This is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely one of the most iconic horror movie scores, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it definitely stands on its own too, because the first time I watched Halloween, I tried to listen to the score on its own and I was like, this is too scary. I can't do it. Then yeah, I've listened to it since on its own and it's so good.
Yeah, for sure. And didn't you said Carpenter wrote that, right?
Yeah, so he wrote the music and he directed the movie.
Yeah, that's
And then
crazy.
I think he's written the music, don't quote me on this, on all of the subsequent Halloween movies, or at least on a lot of them.
Wow.
But nothing stands against the original. It's so good.
For sure. No, that's a great pick. That was an unexpected one to hear, but that's really good. That's really iconic.
Yeah.
So for my number 10, I went with The Incredibles by Michael Giacchino or Giacchino. I don't know how to say his last
We're
name.
probably gonna butcher a lot of names for this.
Yeah, true. For me, this score is amazing in so many ways because in a lot of ways it helps sell the kind of 50s, 60s aesthetic that the movie was going for. It's kind of got a jazz influence, but it's also got a lot of distinct moments in the score that just stand out. For me, the one that stands out the most besides the main theme is it's called Kronos Unveiled. It's when Mr. Incredible is discovering Sinestro's plan. And it just builds this crazy sense of dread and suspense. And the score just helps that scene so much feel really just intense and meaningful. And so to me, that is one of the greatest animated scores I've ever listened to.
No, that's a good one. That didn't even cross my mind at all. And honestly, I don't remember that score super well just because it's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
But you're definitely right with the jazz influence. When you said that, that brought a lot of it back to me. And I would say it's almost just like the comic book, like bam, pow, like wham, like
Yeah,
letters, like brought onto screen, just how he did the music. So I agree, that's a good pick.
totally. And yeah, just like the ending theme when it comes in, it's just super iconic. You always think of The Incredibles. So that was my number 10.
Good pick. All right, my number nine, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly by Ennio Morricone. It's
Nice.
iconic. Like
Totally.
it's so iconic. Everybody knows like the wah wah wah. Like it's just,
Ah,
but
wah,
like
wah.
exactly. I don't know. There's also just like so many other good songs on that soundtrack.
Oh,
Like that's why
totally.
it's the peak Western soundtrack because it's just like sets the tone perfectly. It's so good. And like the Ecstasy of Gold part. I don't, have you
Yeah.
seen the movie?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like when they're having the standoff, it's like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, the standoff. And the first time I watched it, like I thought the standoff was literally 30 seconds. But then
Yeah.
going back, I was like, wait, it's like 3.5 minutes. This is so
Yeah.
long. But just like the music, the way it like builds up to it, oh, it's just so good. Yeah, so it'd be like probably the standout song from that score, but the whole score is iconic and amazing.
I 100% agree. And you're not going to believe this, but that is also my number 9 pick. The Good, the
Dude,
Bad,
no
the
way.
Ugly.
We are in sync.
Yeah. Like, I mean, everything you said is spot on. The Ecstasy of Gold is definitely my favorite song from it. It just builds, like you said, it just builds that scene so much. It's got like this kind of tension, which obviously the film conveys the tension between the characters, but then the score just elevates that. And like you said, just everything about it's iconic, and it really is the quintessential Western soundtrack or score.
Yeah, no, I agree. Good thoughts. All right. My number eight is the Grand Budapest Hotel by
Okay.
Alexandre Desplat. I think that's how you say it. This one's definitely a newer one, but man, this score is just it's so happy. Like whenever I listen to it, I can't help but smile because it's just like it's so bouncy and happy. And it just like fits the movie perfectly too. The way like the style Wes Anderson was going for in the movie, and then this score to back it up is so great. And I think this score is like an example of something that could really stand on its own. Because even if you're not watching the movie, like the score tells its own story, and then just listening to it, it's like I don't know, it's like a full symphony. Like you, if a symphony were to play this, I would go and I would just watch them play the score. That's how good it is.
Wow. Okay. So I've only seen that movie once, and it's been a long time, so I honestly don't remember it. But I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, you'll have to go like check it out again because yeah, I don't know. It's like there's so many different tones in it. Like it's bouncy and happy, and then like when Mustafa dies, or what's his name? Gustav dies, whatever his name is, I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
don't remember.
Like the music is so sad. It's good.
Wow. Okay. And I believe he did the last couple Harry Potter movies. Alexander
Yeah,
Desplat.
I believe so too. I can't be sure though. He also did like he's done the French Dispatch. He's done a lot of Wes Anderson scores for him.
Okay. Cool. Nice. I'll have to check those out. So my number 8 is The Last Samurai by Hans Zimmer. Uh, I love this movie, and the score is just. Have you seen the movie?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. Well, the score just to me helps convey this sense of. It's almost like this underlying sadness. I won't go into the movie since you haven't seen it, but it is
Thanks.
about, the last samurai, as the title suggests. But it just has this kind of, it helps convey this theme of like this kind of dying culture and what that means for not only the culture itself, but the other cultures that they affect, if that makes sense. And I just love, it's just this beautiful, there's a lot of violins, there's a lot of cello, and I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just like one thing that's cool is there's kind of like these 10 to 15-minute just songs, and it's just like this epic, beautiful just tapestry that Hans Zimmer created. And to me, it makes one of the best films of the kind of, it's kind of about an outsider and him finding himself within a different culture, which we've seen a lot, but I don't know, the score elevates that for me. So
No, that's really good. I'll have to check it out. That's the one with Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sweet. I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
highly recommended.
All right. My number 7 is Blade Runner, score done by Evangelist.
Okay.
You've seen Blade Runner, right?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, yeah. Great score. Like, what can I
Totally.
say? Like it sets the cyberpunk tone before cyberpunk was even a thing. And I
Totally.
think part of the reason that movie was successful when like it finally got the final cut and like reached cult status and like still is like referenced constantly today is because of the score. Just like the noir vibes it has while also the futuristic vibes. It just blends those two genres perfectly. And I don't know, it's really good.
Totally, I agree. Like, I love the kind of techno just feel that it adds to the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice pick. I didn't even think of that one. So, but that's
Yeah, like I listened to it actually quite a bit just because it's chill vibes. Like
yeah. I'll have to check that one out again. All right. So, my number 7 is Spirited Away, and the composer is gonna butcher it. Hikaru Shirosu.
sounds right to me.
Have you seen that one?
I have. It's been a while though.
Okay. So,
Yeah, like
yes.
spoilers are fair game.
What's that?
Spoilers are fair game.
Oh, totally. So, uh, Studio Ghibli, to me, it's their best film. I haven't seen all of their films, but it's incredible. The music itself is very like piano heavy, and the I believe the main track is called The Name of Life. But to me, it's just one of the most beautiful piano medleys that I've ever heard, honestly. It just helps convey kind of this childhood innocence while also helping the movie tell the story of kind of growing up and kind of what that entails. I mean, the movie itself is already a masterpiece in my opinion, but this score just helps really cement that. And for me, it's my favorite animated movie, and the score definitely is part of that.
Nice. I mean, I don't really remember the score too well since it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but
Yeah.
I'll just trust you on this one. I have to go back and rewatch it because it's been so long.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
But my number 6 pick, you should be pretty familiar with this one. You just watched it, Spider Man, composed by Danny Elfman.
Okay, nice.
To me, this is like the quintessential superhero score. Like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the quintessential Western. This is the perfect superhero movie score. When that scored, like when the theme title song just starts playing during the opening titles, I get so hyped.
Yeah.
I'm just go crazy. It's so good. And then it basically like tells its own story, just like the rise of a superhero and like the struggles he has to go through, and then like coming back. I don't know, maybe I'm just like over analyzing it, but to me, that's like how it sounds in the opening titles. And then just throughout the way Elfman uses the score to like accentuate the action or like even chiller moments in the drama between Peter Parker and MJ, he just does it perfectly.
No, I totally agree. Honestly, for me, that's my favorite Elfman score.
Yeah.
I think it beats the Batman score miles, like a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like the Batman. I think it's okay. But yeah, I agree. It's great. And it helps really kind of, to me, it helps like convey that Peter Parker almost like not innocence, but kind of like, I don't even know how to say it. Like, just helps convey his character and kind of how
Yeah.
he's this struggling everyday guy.
And it kind of captures like the childhood magic of being a superhero, you know?
Totally. Yeah. No, great pick. So my number 6 is The Mission by Ennio Morricone. I don't know how to say it, but I don't know if have you seen this movie?
I haven't. It's the one with Robert De Niro, right?
Yeah, and
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy
I haven't
Irons.
seen it.
Honestly, the movie is not that good, which is really disappointing. But the soundtrack is incredible. Gabriel's Oboe. I don't know if you've heard that song. I'm sure you have.
I don't. Maybe I have. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just didn't
it's
realize.
really iconic, but it's one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. It's an oboe song, but it's just stunning to listen to that song. I really wish the movie matched how beautiful the soundtrack or the score is, but that's one that I always listen to. Like I have like a calm music playlist that I put on when I'm studying, and that's always one that I listen to. It's just gorgeous. That's all there is to it.
Man, maybe I'll just have to listen to the score, not even watch the movie.
Yeah, honestly, the movie's not that good, so check out the score.
Sweet. All right. My number 5 is The Social Network, score composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Okay.
Who would have thought, dude? Like, take these two rock and rollers and just like stick them onto a David Fincher movie. It's like lightning in a bottle.
Wow.
The best word I can use to describe this score is just momentum. Like,
Okay.
it starts out chill, like when he's like talking to his girlfriend in the bar when the movie opens. The title track, Hand Covers Bruise, like it's so good. I listen to that on repeat all the time. But then just as soon as they break up, immediately like switches into this thing. It's just like building momentum as he's going back to his dorm. He's coming up with the idea for like Facebook or Face Smash, what it was when he originally like thought it up in the movie. It just like keeps building that momentum and then goes back to the main theme, and it's so good. The rock and rollers, they need to compose more film scores. And I think Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, they did Soul as well, so they've been on a roll.
Wow. Okay. I haven't even seen that movie, so I'll have
Dude,
to
you
check
haven't seen The
that out.
Social Network?
No, I haven't.
Oh, get on it.
Yeah, I need
Like one
to.
of the best movies of the 2010s, for real. It's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that one. So my number 5, I think you're gonna be upset about this. I'm kind of cheating also. So my number 5 is Star Wars by John Williams, but also Revenge of the Sith is. So I'm kind of including all Star Wars, but Revenge of the Sith is my like best of those, if that makes sense.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Like for me, the original Star Wars trilogy, they're amazing, and they have like a sense of wonder that really adds to Star Wars. I think the Force theme is my favorite from the originals. But when I look at all of the Star Wars films, Revenge of the Sith for me is the most impactful. Like there are so many incredible parts to that score. The part where I think it's called Anakin's Betrayal. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And like it's a very specific part when Obi-Wan's talking to Padme and he tells her that Anakin's turned to the dark side. Oh my gosh, that part freaking hits hard. It is so good. Like Battle of the Heroes is great. It helps really sell the emotional just wow, like the main character just became the main villain, you know? And it's really powerful in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have a Star Wars one on my list later on. It's not Revenge of the Sith, so I'll just talk about Revenge of the Sith for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree like 100% with everything that you said. I think that like Star Wars movies, depending on your taste, like range from bad to mediocre to amazing. But one of the reasons that they're all amazing to me is the score. So it can be like the crappiest Star Wars movie, but the score is just like lighting the orchestra on fire. It's so good that I can like I can feel these emotions about the characters, even if the characters are like wooden blocks acting. And I think that like definitely helped make the prequels awesome to me. But then yeah, the third one it just like brings it home. Like you said, the Battle of the Heroes. And then like I think it's called Padme's Ruminations. It's the one where Anakin's in like the Jedi Council chambers, just like thinking about like what he's gonna do when Mace Windu's going to arrest Palpatine, and like it's cutting back between him and Padme. It's so good.
Totally. I'm getting excited about it. Just talking.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go watch it now.
Yes.
Let's end. All right, my number 4. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's The Theory of Everything, score composed by Johan Johansson.
No, I have not seen it, but
the movie itself it's okay. Like it's a good movie. I'd recommend watching it. But the main reason I'd recommend watching it is because of the score. It's so good. It's like a full orchestra, mainly violins. And Johan Johansson was actually a classical music composer before he moved on to scores. And he actually like passed away recently. Like it's been like probably like 5 years, but he was young. He was like in his 40s, I think. But this to me is like his magnum opus because it's like classical music, but it's set to this, I don't know, this beautiful movie about just more than like the life of Stephen Hawking, or just contemplating the universe. And I don't know what he was thinking when he was composing the score, but to me that makes sense that he would be thinking that. To just like makes me think about the universe when I listen to it.
Wow, great pick. I actually do know one of the songs from it. I haven't seen it. I think it's called Forces of Attraction.
Okay, yeah, uh-huh.
I really like that song, so
Yeah,
yeah,
you should check out the movie. Like, it's really good. Brought me to tears at one point because the score was just so perfect with the movie.
really, yeah, I'll have to check that out. That one song's really good, so I believe it.
Yeah.
Sweet. So my number four is Interstellar by Hans Zimmer. This score is phenomenal to me. I know for some reason on the internet there's like this hatred for Hans Zimmer. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, but it's just because he's so good and he
I
does
know
so many
it's
scores that are so good.
it right. Like, why are people hating on him? Like, oh, he doesn't use a live symphony sometimes. Who cares? He's writing like some of the best,
Yeah.
like some of the most impactful scores I've ever heard in my life, honestly. Like
Really.
Interstellar, I don't even know how to explain it. Like to me, it helps convey this sense of like just like this awe-inspiring, you know, vacuum of space that they're in. Like it helps kind of build the scope while also has this really melancholic, sad feeling to it as well, which really helps tell the story of Matthew McConaughey's character and what he's sacrificing. And to me, it's an incredible score. I get chills every time I hear it. Like just like the soft piano, and then it builds to more of the symphony, and it's just so good. Like I don't know, it's one of my favorites, and it really is to me one of the best scores of 2010s.
Agreed. I don't know. Maybe if we're lucky, I'll talk more about that later on in my list. We'll see.
Okay, sounds good.
My number three, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, score by John Williams.
Okay.
I don't know. It was hard coming up with the score, with the Star Wars one to pick because I knew I was going to put Star Wars on the list. It's amazing, but I didn't know which
Yeah.
one I would pick. But I think I just went with Force Awakens because it's John Williams firing on all cylinders, like he does always with all the Star Wars movies. But I just really liked how he brought in the new themes that we'd never heard before, like Rey's theme.
Yeah.
I think is one of the best themes he's written for Star Wars, like period. It's so good. And then I mainly picked this because of the last song on the score, which is Jedi Steps and Finale.
It's good.
The way that builds, I don't think I've ever been so hyped in a movie theater in my entire life. Like Rey just steps off the Falcon and the score starts building, and she's climbing the steps, and then you finally get the full Force theme reveal. Except to that point, he only played like parts of it, but they never done the full Force theme until that moment when she sees Luke, and the full Force theme comes in, camera pans around, and then it just like cuts to the end credit Star Wars theme. That's like peak Star Wars music right there to me.
Yeah, I agree. That score is phenomenal. I love Ray's theme as well. I really like the First Order theme too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Jedi steps. I'll try to restrain myself. Uh, I agree that built so much hype for me, like that end scene, and the next one didn't really deliver for me. But I
Look, I
agree.
didn't put the Last Jedi on here. Just focus on the Force Awakens.
No, you're right, and I agree. That's a really good score for sure. So my number three is another Hans Zimmer, my third Hans Zimmer. So I'm sure people are upset about that, but I don't care. um,
Zimmer sucks.
so it's the Man of Steel score. For me, this is one of the most important scores because Superman is my favorite superhero, and Man of Steel is my favorite Superman movie. And a big part of that is this score, honestly. Like, no disrespect to John Williams' Superman, I love that one too. But for me, this one is it's just the best for Superman. It helps build that sense of like epic scale, but also just like hopefulness. It's got those drums, and man, that those drums, I can't help but just like do the drum thing when I'm listening to it. Oh, it's so good. Like when it's like the very end scene when Clark talks to Lois and he's getting his job at the Daily Planet, and then she's like, "Welcome to the planet," and then it just starts playing. I get the chills so hard. Like I full on geek out every time. It's so epic, and to me, it's Hans Zimmer's best score.
Nice. Yeah, this one like was so close to making my list. I cut it last minute. Like it
Okay.
was so close. But I agree with everything you've said. I love how the main like the Superman theme builds from just like the piano to like you said the huge just drums and everything. I think
Yeah,
it's so good how it does that and yeah, chills every time.
totally. Oh, and I forgot. It also is. It's Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. So it's,
Oh, was Junkie XL on the Man of Steel soundtrack too?
yeah, he helped with some of the songs. So
Okay. But I guess we know Junkie XL sucks if he's not with Hans Zimmer.
really, you think so?
Dude, I didn't like his score for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I didn't think it was as good as Hans Zimmer
I agree,
when
but
they worked together.
yeah, I agree. It wasn't as good, but I
Come
think
on, like
his.
Ancient Lamentation.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But his Mad Max score is really good, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Can't fight you on that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
all right. My number two is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring by Howard Shore. Man, tears thinking about it, dude.
yeah, dude.
So like the breaking of the fellowship, the last song of the movie, like no joke, is probably like one of the best pieces of music ever created. And like part of the score, especially like the end of a movie, is to bring the audience like out of the world of the movie and then back into the real world. And I don't think a single song has done that as well as that. Like when like the theme just comes in full blast and then it says directed by Peter Jackson, it's there's nothing better. I know that I just went on a huge adventure and then I'm coming back into the real world and like it just brings hope. It's so good. And then yeah, I mean there's like a billion other themes in there too, like the Mordor theme.
Totally.
It's just all so good and everything like fits each part of the world perfectly. So it almost like doesn't feel like it was one score just because it feels like you wrote like five different scores for each part of the world of Middle Earth.
Totally. I will save my comments for later, but I agree with everything you said.
All right. um
So,
wait, you got your number two still, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So my number two is Braveheart by James Horner. I just watched this like a week ago. Oh my gosh. Like this for me is one of my all-time favorite movies. And again, a big part of that is the score. It just helps deliver so many emotional and impactful scenes and just elevates them to another level. There's quite a few different themes that I love from this. I think it's called For the Love of a Princess is really beautiful and kind of slower and quiet. But then just the freedom slash end credits theme is so good. Like literally every time it like comes on shuffle, I have to like shake my fist in the air and just like just feel it. I don't even know if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
freedom with them.
Yeah, like it's so good. And the way it builds that last song, it kind of comes in quiet and you can like tell the beats of the movie that are happening if you're just listening to the song because you know kind of when it gets quiet and then when it comes in really strong. And yeah, it just does for me what every score should do, just elevates and inspires.
No, that's definitely an epic one. I agree. James Horner is really good. And yeah, For the Love of a Princess is probably my favorite song off that.
Mm.
I actually learned how to play it just because
Really?
I like it so much. Yeah.
Is that
And
piano
then,
or
yeah, just like, what?
on piano or
No, on clarinet.
really? I didn't
Yeah,
know you played that. Nice.
I do. Yeah, I learned how to play that. I was just like, this song is good. I gotta learn how to play it.
That's
That's what I
sweet,
did.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then just like, small shout out to Titanic. I don't know if you've seen that, but I really love his score on Titanic too.
Oh, did he do Titanic?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that forever, so I don't remember it, but I'm sure it was great.
His score is really good on it too. James Horner, good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Did you want to do honorable mentions then?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so just real quick, honorable mention number one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, composed by John Williams. Such a good adventure movie score. It
Totally.
does sound kind of samey to Empire Strikes Back. Like if you listen to Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark, one after the other, you'll see a lot of parallels. But I think the parallels fit Raiders a lot better than Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
It's so good. And the Indiana Jones theme, it's iconic. What can we say? John Williams just makes iconic themes.
Totally.
And then, do you want to comment on that, or do you want me to do my second one?
Go ahead with your second.
My second one is The Godfather, composed by Nino Rota. That's also another example of just like basically the same song the entire movie, but the way he
Totally.
plays the different instruments conveys different themes. So like it can either be like this foreboding, like dark theme, like the Godfather's gonna kill somebody, or it can be like this happy wedding dance when whatever his name gets married.
Yeah, I don't remember. No, that's this really good score. I love I think it's called the love theme from The Godfather.
Uh-huh.
That one's
Yeah, that's like the
beautiful.
one where they get married.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That one's really iconic for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great picks. Yeah, my honorable mentions are the first one would be The Last of the Mohicans. I think it's by Trevor. Let me look it up. Trevor Jones. So I just love the like. It's I don't know. It's called Promontory. It's kind of when they're like going into battle. I think it's bagpipes. I'm not sure. It's
Okay.
just it's beautiful. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. I need
Oh,
to watch it.
definitely recommend it. Daniel Day-Lewis does a great job. It's just epic. Like that's the best way I can describe it. It just really helps convey that kind of epic fight for what they believe in, and that's definitely a favorite of mine. I would say I have quite a few honorable mentions. I'm trying to narrow it down here.
Come on, you made me narrow it down.
I know. I'm sorry. I think my last honorable mention would just be I kind of mentioned it, but the Superman John Williams score.
Okay,
Um,
nice.
I think I like that movie a lot. I'm a Superman fan, and that theme is just it's probably more iconic than the Hans Zimmer one because it's from '78, I think, and just really helped sell that whole idea of superhero movies. First of all, like that was like the first blockbuster superhero film, and I think that score really helped elevate it to be like a cultural phenomenon and really helped us to where we are now with superhero movies. So for that alone, it's really impactful and important. But it's just a great song. It helps, that kind of has that sense of wonder of the man that can fly and do all these crazy things. So that would be
Yeah.
my other one.
No, those are good picks.
All right.
John Williams at it again with the iconic themes.
Yep.
All right, drumroll please.
Okay.
My number one, Interstellar, Hans Zimmer.
Nice.
Yeah. When the teaser first came out, like 2 years before the movie released, it's just Matthew McConaughey's voiceover over like historical moments in history, and then the basically like the cornfield chase theme by Hans
Mhm.
Zimmer is playing over it. I don't think I've ever been so confident that a movie would be amazing as I have been when I first saw that teaser, just because the song was amazing and the voiceover was amazing.
Totally.
And yeah, I think when Christopher Nolan was like writing the script for the movie and everything, and he like had Hans Zimmer sign on to do the music, he just gave him like basically a one sheet piece of paper and was like, yeah, here, like here's what you have, compose a score with just this. So
Really.
I don't know how he did it, but like he used the organs, which is kind of outside of his wheelhouse. I don't think there's many scores where he uses the organ. And then
Yeah.
you also have like the womps from Interstellar, just that huge bass. And yeah, every song is so good. Like the docking sequence makes me sweat every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even watching the movie. It's just so stressful. And then yeah, like you mentioned earlier, how it kind of conveys Coop's emotions throughout the entire movie, just like kind of this like huge adventure that he's going on, but also this melancholy that he's maybe never going to see his daughter again, or when he does, she's going to be old.
Right.
But yeah, that score is probably like my favorite score of all time. That's why it's my number one, obviously, but it's perfect to me.
No, that's a great pick. Like I already commented, but I think First Step is my favorite track from that score. That's one that I've tried to learn on piano. I kind of have part of it down, but it's just I agree 100%. It it really does just kind of sweep you up in this emotion, and I get really I don't feel like I'm in reality anymore when I'm hearing that. Like I'm in a different world or adventure, and
Yeah,
it's a
no,
great
I
time.
agree. It's like the spirit leaves the body.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so my number one is Lord of the Rings by Howard Shore. I
Which
would also pick. Sorry.
which one I was gonna say?
Oh, yeah, I would also pick Fellowship of the Ring if I had to pick, but I kind of see all three as one, just because
You
they,
cheater.
I don't know, they use the same themes. But yeah, I'll for the sake of the list, I'll choose Fellowship. I think you mentioned it before. There's like multiple iconic themes. You've got like the elf theme, you've got the Rivendell themes, the Hobbit theme, you got the men theme, like you have the Rohan theme that's in the second one, but whatever. There's so many, the Mordor theme that you mentioned, and just the way it starts with concerning hobbits. It's like this wistful, like fun, just like kind of comedic, beautiful song. You've got like the Council of Elrond song, which has got like some beautiful French horns in there. It's just incredible. Like the scope of those movies is so huge. And I think a lesser composer wouldn't have been able to help that grow because it really does. There's a theme for like every realm and every like species or whatever, and it's phenomenal. And I agree with what you said earlier. The Breaking of the Fellowship, that is my favorite piece from the whole trilogy. It is so beautiful, and it really does convey that sense of like we don't know if we're gonna die, like we don't know what we're doing. We're doing our best to basically save everything, and it's like these two hobbits that are leaving everything they've known. I don't know. I get emotional every time I hear it and see it in the film. It's just an experience, and like you said, it does such a good job of like taking you away in that moment, but then when it ends, you're back into reality. I like how you said that. So that is my number one.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I already commented on it, but just two more things that I thought of while you were talking. My first, like, my biggest complaint about the Two Towers and the Return of the King is that they don't use the In Dreams theme as much as the Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
Like, they do use it, like when Sam's giving his speech in the Two Towers, and
Yeah.
then like when the king bows to the hobbits, when Aragorn bows to the hobbits at the end. Like, those are two examples of when it's used in the other two movies.
Right.
But I just think that theme is like it's so emotional. But I'm just kind of sad that it was reserved mostly for the Fellowship of the Ring. The music in the other two are great and amazing, but that theme is just my favorite from the movies. And then I'm also just impressed with the choir too. Like neither of us mentioned the choir
Yeah.
before, but
True.
yeah, like he has so many instruments, but then he also brings in the choir like for the Elven songs, and the choir is so
Totally.
good.
100% agree. Like, yeah, there's so many distinct songs. Like most
Yeah,
movies kind of recycle the same theme, throughout. I feel like that, and of course they do to some extent, but like there's so many unique things, and yeah, the choirs are phenomenal. Like uh the end of the third one, the like kind of Into the West, not the one that, well, that's the one that the lady sings, but I think it's the Grey Havens. Like that's got some beautiful,
yeah,
I don't know, it's just great.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, how there's a theme for each world and realm, and like it's so good.
Yeah, it's definitely epic in scale. But yeah, thanks Ross for giving your thoughts. I don't know if you have any closing thoughts on any of these scores.
Any closing remarks?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think like to me, music can make or break a movie. like the music is the first thing that I notice in a movie a lot of the times. Like I'm a big cinematography like nerd, and I like knowing like what cameras it was shot on and stuff, and like shot
Totally.
composition and everything. But I think the score is like my number one thing. If the score stinks, the movie is just not going to be that good. But then
Right.
if there's like cool like themes in the movie, or if the score is like even serviceable, it just helps the movie be so much more than it could be without the score. And also like the lack of a score can be really impactful too, since we're so useful to movies having these music. Just like completely ripping away all the music can also be really impactful. So just yeah, those are my parting thoughts.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think a score can help make a film way more memorable. Like, a forgettable score usually for me makes scenes more forgettable. Like, um, when it has such an iconic, beautiful sound, it makes me want to watch the movie more and also listen to the score more. And couldn't agree more. Like, it's one of the first things I notice as well. Like, music is just a super powerful storyteller. And I think, yeah, like I love just listening to scores because there's so much emotion that is put into those. And I think why not enjoy it, outside of movies as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, those are our top 10 movie scores. Thank you again, Ross, for joining me. It was a lot of fun.
I think follow us on Letterboxd.
Yeah, we'll put our tags in the comments or the bio. All right, thanks, Ross. We'll catch up later. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. That will really help this channel grow and the community discussing film, which is my goal for the channel. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on your top 10 movie scores. Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you thought of our picks. If you agree, disagree, I'd love to hear the discourse. Again, thank you so much and hope to see you in the next video.